Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be covering the top 10 Washington quarter varieties in your pocket change. I previously did a state quarter one, but this is just going to be focused on Washington quarters from 1932 to, I guess it was 1998. And the quarters that we're going to be talking about today might be silver, so obviously some of them will be pretty difficult to find in your pocket change, but others of them will be varieties that are newer, and I look forward to sharing the information with you guys. Coming in at number 9 and number 10 are the 1982D and 1983D quarters, but the caveat is that they must be uncirculated. So if you find one of these in your pocket change and it's a regular circulated coin, it's not really going to be worth anything over 25 cents. However, for these years and mint marks, if you find something that is about uncirculated and it's an 82D or 83D, it'll probably be worth about $5. That goes to $8 in low mint state grades. If you can get it around 65 mint state, it'll probably be worth $20. And bear in mind, you don't need to grade at those levels. It's just eyeballing it. But if you can actually come back with a grade of mint state 67 or higher, it's probably going to be worth at least $400. So it's some serious change if you're just looking and you see some uncirculated 82 or 83 quarters. Definitely pick it out. And now we're going to talk about values for number 7 and 8, which is the same theme, 1982p and 1983p. They're a little bit more valuable though, but obviously you would want to pick out any uncirculated coin from these years. And the values on this is going to be about $10 in the lower mint state, but if you get up to a 65, it'll be worth about $40. And then if you can get this in the 68 grade, which is a very coveted grade, it could sell for $2,000, and I've seen them go for as much as $4,000. So again, not going to be anything crazy if it's in regular circulated condition, but it could end up being a major windfall if you do find a particularly well struck and well-preserved example. Coming in at number 6 is we have the 1934 Double Die Obverse. So from this point on, they're going to be mostly pre-65, so silver coins, and it's a pretty obvious doubling. You can see the spread best in the In God We Trust, so the T's are very separated, as are the S and the I's and the N's, and you'll be able to see a little bit of a protrusion right here in the E, and then also in the date, the 4, there'll be 2 bars there and a bar under the 3, so that should, make things easier to locate. And this coin's going to be worth about $90 in like a circulated average condition, and it'll go up to about 1.3 thousand in a more uncirculated condition, and it can reach all the way up to 5,000 at its best. Number 5 is just a key date coin, 1932S, so it's not anything that's actually an error. This particular coin is a 66, I believe, or 67, but it's really nice in terms of its toning, and that brings me to a question. Do you guys like toning or blast white coins better? I know that there's differing opinions on that, but obviously here's a coin that graded really well, but it might look ugly to some, while others would really appreciate that. And in terms of the values, this will be about $100 in average circulated condition, and it can reach $500 in a decently uncirculated state, and it can get all the way up to about 30,000 at its best. Number 4 is another key date from the same year, but this time it's been minted at the Denver Mint, so it's the 1932D key date. This is a blast white example, obviously, in contrast with the toned 32S, but this one is going to be worth a little bit more. $150 for the average condition circulated one. It'll go to 1.5 thousand, so $1,500 as you climb into the low mint state grades. And this one has a better ceiling than 32S as well, occasionally going all the way up to $100,000. Number 3, we have the 1942D Double Die Obverse. This one's definitely not quite as obvious, and it's a little bit difficult to see in the photo, but you can see there's some doubling in the Liberty, so here it's kind of the sides you can tell, and then in the In God We Trust, I find that's the easiest place to notice it. You can see the doubling in the R, and kind of throughout the whole In God We Trust, though it's most significant in this R. It's kind of more difficult to tell at the top. I'm not sure why this photo has it pointing to the bottom. I think it's more difficult there. Just take a look at the In God We Trust, and obviously there will be some doubling in the letters. In terms of values, this is similar to the 32D, but it'll be about $150 in a circulated condition, $2,000 in the mint state, but lower mint state, so that's a little bit more than the 1500 that the 32D is, but that doesn't have quite as much of a ceiling, topping out at about $5,000. I chose to put it over the other one because it's more rare and it has a better value in terms of the grades you're most likely to find it in. We've got two more coins, and this is the second. It is 1943S Double Die Obverse, and this one is a really clear doubling. Some of the others you had to look for it a little bit more, but as you can see here, the In God We Trust is just totally doubled. There's going to be strong protrusion on the left side in the L, I, B, and E of Liberty, and it does continue throughout. And this one is also going to be a little bit more valuable, so I'm not exactly sure why. However, it'll be $200 in a circulated condition that you'd find it in your change in. It'll go up to $800 for a pretty uncirculated piece, and it'll top out at about $8,000 if it's super well preserved. However, I think it's a really cool coin, and I kind of like how the Washington quarters, the errors are pretty easy to find. On something like a penny, you really have to look closely at the little minute details on the back, but here you can just tell here's the doubling, it's in the In God We Trust, and that's the sort of thing that you're looking for. Our top choice for the day is the number 1 1937 Double Die Obverse. It is, as it says, I was talking about it earlier, it's just in the In God We Trust is the best place to look for it. Obviously over here you can take a look, there will be some doubling along the 1, 9, 3, and 7, but the best place to look for it is just in the In God We Trust. It'll be a spread that's normally on top of each other as opposed to super in the sides, and this coin will be worth about $250 if you find it in regular pocket change condition, and it'll zoom up to 2.5 thousand in a better condition, the low mint state, and then all the way up to 20,000 at its finest examples, which is pretty good for a double die finest known. That concludes this presentation. I hope you find one of these and let me know as soon as possible. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and connect with me, whether it's on Instagram at TreasureTownYT, Reddit at rTreasureTownYT, or on my website, treasuretownyt.com. Have a great day, and I hope to see you on some of my other videos.